My name's Sam O'Brien. I work for Ovenden Plant Hire, have done for the last year. I'm 24 years old. Previous to working for Ovenden Plant Hire, I have worked for various other firms in Kent. I've done a lot of machine work. I've always been around plant. I've always been around lorries, machinery, anything with an engine. Ever since, as long as I can remember, that's what I've been around. I left school when I was 16, done an apprenticeship to be a machine driver. I did that till I was 21, and then I decided I wanted to try something else. I always knew I was going to get my HGV. That was like the next string to my bow, so that's what I wanted to do. So I got my Class 2 first, and then I got my Class 1, which I've had just over a year now. December last year I got my Class 1. So I've had it for just over a year, and then due to my upbringing and where I started with my father, the low loader was always where I wanted to go. And I've got quite a good relationship with the Ovendens in the fact that they know what I can do, they appreciate what I can do. There's a lot of trust in them towards me for what I do. And they give me a shot on the low loader, it's worked out absolutely brilliantly. You know, I love the job. It is a brilliant job. It's testing at times. It's definitely tests your patience and your skills and everything like that. But you grow every day, every task, every job. You learn something from and you take something from it. It's becoming more common for people my age to do it. But if you've got the licence, you very rarely get the opportunity, because firms, you know, big firms especially, like that have got 100 lorries on the road, they don't want people that are young that need experience. They want people that can do the job. And that's where I'm quite lucky with Ovendens, because they give you the chance. So my dad, he was probably working for Ovendens back when Adrian Ovenden was running the transport side of things, and that was probably round I was born in 99, so I think the earliest I've got pictures of me being with my dad is 2003, 2004, and I was like knee-high to a grasshopper, you know what I mean? If I walked down the side of the trailer, you could just about see the top of my head poking over the side of the trailer. And he was the same, come from a machine background, done a lot of work for Ada on the machines as the company was getting bigger. Then he had a lorry licence, so Ada said, would you drive the low loader? And of course I will, not a problem. And he stayed on it for quite a few years for Ada. And I think one of the most pinnacle memories I've got from when the old man used to work for Ada, and my old man would tell you this if he was here now, but we used to pull up to a job and I had a booster seat in the lorry. And I'd be in my booster seat and I'd pull up, I had a dummy in my mouth because I was still 3-4 years old. And he said, we'd pull up to a job and he said, you'd look at me and you go, I do ramps, Dad, I do ramps like that. He'd go, yeah, you could do the ramps. So he'd come round the other side of the lorry, open the door, get me out of the booster seat, put me on the floor, walk to the back of the trailer, away I'd go, ramps down, that's what would happen. And then years later it went from, I do ramps, Dad, to go on boy, put that machine on, away you go. And you could get away with it back then. You know, that's how I've learned and why I'm where I am today, because back then health and safety wasn't really a thing, and it was all about bringing on the future generation. Adrian Ovenden will tell you that himself. He was always one for encouraging the younger generation, like hence the other Sam, who drives a low loader as well. His dad was a fitter in the workshop, and he was always running around the workshop when I was running around with my old man in the yard. I think he's 3 or 4 years older than me. So he was obviously a lot older in the workshop, doing a lot bigger things than what I was doing. But yeah, we've always been around each other. And then when he first came back to Ovendens, I didn't really know who he was. And then Found out who he was, and I was like, oh, you was running around the yard when you was that big and I was that big, you know?
Hello?
All right?
Yeah, you alright?
Yeah, not bad. Want to pick your brains?
Oh, that'd be hard.
The companies have obviously modernised a lot from when my dad was working for them, but I can relate a lot from doing the job of the low loader to how my old man used to describe it to me when I was growing up, because one of the best things that he's always told me about Adrian Ovenden was Adrian Ovenden would ring you to see how you're getting on during the day, what we can fit in and do this. And Dad would be like, oh, well, this ain't quite gone right, this is stressed me out, this is just a car crash, what's happened here and all that. And Adrian's response was, and if you meet Adrian, you'll know what I'm saying, would turn round to my old man and go, it's all right, Fruit, I'll make you a nice cup of tea when you get back to the yard. And the old man would put the phone down and he'd go, oh yeah, it ain't so bad. Christopher rung me up and he just said, well, do you mind going to Scotland? And I said, no, I don't mind, it's not the end of the world. I've done nights out in my lorry before, you know the score with all of that. And he said, do you want to do it? I said, yeah, of course I'll do it, it's not a problem. First ever trip I'd done since I had my Class 1 where I've probably been further than Birmingham. You can carry 50 tonne on the back of our low loader, the big trailer, and I think the picking station weighs, I think it's about 36, 38 tonne. Depends if it's full up with diesel and whatever. But it's not just a big machine, you have to stretch the trailer, so you have to extend the trailer, which you've gone from driving this trailer around, taking your markers in your mirrors and working out how close you can cut a roundabout or the swing you need to get into a junction, whatever. You've taken that and then you've added 3 metres to the trailer, so then everything that you've been doing previously goes out the window because you've got another 3 metres to account for. We've all got sat-navs because they're handy to have, but even so, a sat-nav will look at a road, or it will say that road hasn't got a weight limit on it, hasn't got a width limit on it, you can go down that road. But what it doesn't account for is all the parked cars or the bus stops or things like that. And we've had it before where you go to a job, you put it in your sat-nav, you get to the end of the road and you're like, there's no way I'm going to get down there. And if I did get down there, I probably shouldn't be down there. Even though there's no weight limit, it's still a country lane. There's trees hanging over the top and you're like, yeah, no, I'll pull up and find another way into that job. And that's what makes the job probably quite complicated. But Scotland, to be fair, wasn't too bad. 90% of it was motorways. We're going to go to Truckfest, which is the 19th and 20th of August. And Truckfest is like people that pull supermarket trailers, people that pull cattle trailers, people that, you're talking every HGV, every subdivision of a HGV driver that drives in the UK that loves trucks and loves their job will just take it to a show one weekend, and you pull up and probably not a great event for someone that doesn't like lorries, but you pull up, you have a polish up, you crack open a beer and you meet people, and you meet people and you network, you meet people, like-minded people, And plus the other thing is as well, there's, you as a driver, day to day, of course you want to look after your lorry, it's your office, inside, outside, but it's just a nice opportunity to polish it up and take it to a show. It's good for advertising for the company, and it's just a nice weekend.